TwitchCon is a place where different streamers attend, and any fans can meet people in a meet and greet, or I don't know, attend some events that they have going on there. Like TwitchCon, I feel like is genuinely supposed to be a fun time, right? But as someone that's a smaller streamer, like for me, I think it would be really cool if one day I would be big enough to go to TwitchCon and have my own meet and greet, you know? I think it'd be really interesting to be able to like meet people that would watch me, or just to like experience it, because personally I've never gone. But the way things have gone lately and for the past couple of years, I feel like TwitchCon is just done. I don't mean that in a way where it's not like they're never gonna have it again, or it's not like people won't attend TwitchCon, but I think the experience has kind of been ruined for everybody. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, this past TwitchCon, there was a popular streamer that people know, Emiru. I'm sure you guys know. And she was assaulted at a meet and greet. Obviously, this draws questions of like security, but basically the gist of it is, I don't know who the guy was, a fan or something like that, was able to walk up to her and basically just try and kiss her. None of the Twitch staff did anything about it except her own bodyguard. It's crazy because if you really think about it, if he wanted to, he actually could have killed her, because of the fact of how easy it was to be able to approach someone like that and bypass security. I think it's kind of insane what happened, you know? Like, why are people able to access streamers with like no repercussions whatsoever, you know? I will say that to a degree, no matter how many safety precautions you can take, I believe that someone can always choose to do something wrong. I do think that there should be more security there, or that people should have taken more action to stop the guy from doing that, because there's in no situation or no circumstance should someone ever be able to do that. Dan Clancy is the CEO of Twitch, and he put heavy emphasis on like security and shit like that. But I feel like these are the types of people that really ruin the experience for everybody else. And this is where I was going with this. As someone who's a smaller streamer who, like I said, one day wants to be able to have a meet and greet or attend TwitchCon and be someone of, I guess, importance, I feel like I no longer have that desire to go. Obviously, this type of stuff happens a lot more to like women than men, but it also happened to NMP, I think 2 years ago, right? Or was it last year? I'm not even sure. People give TwitchCon a bad rap, and for good reason. I really think it dissuades people from attending a con like that, you know? It's not fun, because like I said, it ruins the experience for everyone else. There's a lot more streamers that are kind of like boycotting it. They're never going to go to TwitchCon again. Even as someone like I said, for me, who's a smaller streamer, if I went to TwitchCon for like my own meet and greet, for example, I think it would still be cool for me to meet someone like XQC, or like meet someone like Emiru or something like that, or people that are like way bigger in the space or way more well known, because at the end of the day, like, they're at the top of the game, right? Biggest streamers on the platform. I like, for me too, that would be really cool. But the fact that people come up and ruin the experience for everybody else, I think it, like I said, it dissuades people from attending, and it's really not ideal to go anymore, you know? People have gotten injured, people have gotten assaulted multiple times, by the way, at TwitchCon. Even this year, attendance was way down compared to before. So this is the infamous clip. By the way, I don't think that was a weapon. I think that was most likely a pen. But if that was a weapon, just saying, I think it would have been super easy, if he had intended to probably hurt her.
So I had to cancel my meet and greet because of the stuff, but in order to, I can't cancel my meet and greet and not cancel her show, because of the fact that the reason I cancel my meet and greet is I don't want to be in the same place for 2 hours. Because of people being weird.
Okay.
And then I'm under contract with them, so I can't cancel one and not cancel the other.
Interesting. Oh.
So I'm sorry,
I kept my meet and greet because I wanted to keep my show. Surely it'll be fine.
I'm sorry, Emmy.
By the way, I just want to like give context and say that people had already not like they claimed that they didn't want to go to TwitchCon this year because of safety concerns. And even though Emiru was the same way, the only reason she's going is to keep her show. If this gets to a point where like you fear for your own safety or you're assaulted like she was, is it really that beneficial to have the show at the expense of that, you know? Like at the expense of your own safety, is it worth it to keep your show on Twitch? There is a VTuber known as Iron Mouse who had fans at meet and greets at the booth that had gifts for these people, and they were actually thrown out. All of the gifts were thrown out by the staff. I deeply apologize to all the VTubers and fans who had meet and greets at the VTuber booth this year. It breaks my heart to know staff threw out all the gifts. I should have known better than to trust them and taking care of everything ahead of time. I'm so sorry, everyone. I honestly, I feel like you can't even justify going to TwitchCon anymore. Like I said, it's basically done. No, I don't think any streamer of relative size is even thinking about going at this point. And this is also after Dan Clancy's emphasizing security, by the way. I don't think anybody feels comfortable or even wants to go to TwitchCon in the first place.
But like, it just felt like this con felt so fucking weird, man. Whatever. Like last year I told myself I don't like TwitchCon, and so many people were like, "Why do you like TwitchCon?" And I'm like, "Well, how long do we have?" But even more problems end up popping up, and really, I think that this is going to be one of the last TwitchCons that people go to. The attendance this year was terrible.
Wait, there's Dan Clancy. Show me Dan Clancy again.
No.
Tell Dan Clancy we said what's.
There's no way.
Wait, Dan Clancy, do you know who I am? Wait, let me ask. That's literally him. Wait, Dan. Wait, Dan Clancy.
Bro, as soon as he saw the camera, he swapped the phone to the other chick.
Oh, Daniel Clancy.
Wait, Dan.
Dude, I literally just saw Dan Clancy. On my soul, I did.
Did you see him, Nate?
I'll be honest, bro. Dan is a D1 gooner. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, shit. You guys thought I was a D1 gooner. Look at this guy. Bro, this was from a year ago, okay? Showing a new feature on Twitch. Check it out.
You want to explore clips?
Look at, by the way, just look at his feed. I just want you to guys look at his feed.
And now you have a clips feed. Okay?
Oh.
Suppose you want to check out the
Bro.
stories to see what you missed yesterday. You click there, and now you're in your stories feed. Okay?
I mean, bro, come on, dude.
Unique bond that people have, and I've seen it so much firsthand of like this very deep parasocial bond, I would say, with Twitch streamers, really specifically. I think that reaches a level that doesn't even happen on platforms like YouTube and others. Obviously, we saw one Twitch streamer yesterday, Emiru, get assaulted by a male fan, and a lot of streamers have, especially female streamers, have talked about, you know, the danger that they feel from these sort of toxic, I guess, parasocial kind of creeps. What are you guys doing to prioritize safety? Because I know also a bunch of Twitch content creators said that they were too scared to even come to TwitchCon this year, just in case something like what happened yesterday would happen.
The safety of our creators is the top priority. The challenge we face is a challenge in today's society. It's not limited to Twitch. It extends throughout our society. I do think that when you're live streaming, in many ways, since you control your community and you can ban people, you can make it so that those people that you don't want engaging with you and participating with you aren't there. Okay, it's very different. You know, when I use other short form content and people say all sorts of stuff, well, I can't stop that. But when I live stream, they basically don't bother me. Now, what happened yesterday obviously was something that we care deeply about, securing this environment. You know, we're looking very closely at everything that happened there, and I care deeply about Emmy. She's a friend of mine.
By the way, they didn't do anything. They literally didn't do anything. I know they put out a statement on Twitter saying that they're aware of what happened at TwitchCon, but they had no accountability. And it's crazy because people, like I said, people already give TwitchCon a bad rap. As a newer streamer or even a fan, what is convincing enough to make me want to go to TwitchCon anymore? Or just for the first time, like I said, I haven't gone to TwitchCon at all. You know, I thought it would have been cool, but all of this doesn't make it seem comfortable for me to go.
I mean, as you know, I think you toured some of what we do in terms of security. The reality is, even as you do a lot in terms of security in today's world, there are challenges that can present themselves, especially when someone is putting themselves out there, right? And so, we try to work very closely with each creator about what they want to do and what works for them, right? So I don't want to get into any specifics or details, but part of that is working with creators and, trying to find them. Right now, we're definitely, ramping it up to make sure creators know that we have the resources there to help them figure out what's right.
There's no resources, by the way, just saying. Holy shit.
This only happens to people of my size. This happens to girls or guys with 50 viewers. What the fuck are they supposed to do? They can't afford that. It's like, you gotta just deal with it, not there, or you're... I could have fucking died yesterday. I'm just really hurt and disappointed by how everything was set up by Twitch and like how it was handled after. Honestly, that was upsetting me more and making me more angry last night than everything else. Any person can be walking on the street and get assaulted. Like, yeah, it's fucking horrible. It's fucking horrible. But why do I have to worry about that happening at the convention for the place that I work? I genuinely want people to be held accountable and for things to like visibly be changed. But even so, I personally am not going to another TwitchCon. I'm done. 10 years of streaming, I'm done. This is my final TwitchCon. This show will be my final performance. And then I'm going back to streaming video games in my room.
Who wants to go to TwitchCon? I feel like I'd almost compare this to like, imagine if you go to an NBA game to see LeBron James only for him to be like load managing, Like, that's kind of disappointing. And I think there's tons of people, tons of fans out there of these bigger streamers that go to TwitchCon specifically to see their favorite streamer. So if someone was a fan of Emiru and really wanted to meet her, they have a chance to do so if they go to TwitchCon. But now, one person has ruined it for everybody else because of safety concerns, right? And this is what I'm talking about when I say TwitchCon is done. There's no incentive to go whatsoever. And it's sad to see. Even for, like I said, smaller streamers or streamers that want to go one day, there's really no incentive to go. I'll be honest.